Karin, what a pleasure to see you once again.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I noticed that, during lunches and dinners here, coffee breaks, people have a lot to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's so nice. I really feel welcome here. It's my first time in Boao and first time at the forum, and it's lovely to see so many old friends and making new friends, hearing different perceptions, so it's really good.
I really think it's an enriching process, especially when we are dealing with a big theme like this, uncertain world, solidarity and cooperation. This is so crucial right now.
It is. It is. I feel there are so many headwinds at this moment. We have, of course, more or less an existential crisis with the climate. We have wars, new wars, old conflicts. We have the effects still of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So it's a great theme to be talking about solidarity and cooperation. I think we have to be willing to look at those who need us most. And those are the people usually who have fallen into poverty again during the COVID period, or those who suffered from war, or children who have not been able yet to go to school. So I feel that big commitment from UNICEF to show our passion and to bring everyone on board.
The world has been experiencing shocks after shocks after shocks. What does that mean to your cause, especially taking care of the most vulnerable, shall we say, yet the most promising, the children?
Yeah, so if I compare with 10 years ago, some 10 years ago we were all thinking everything is on track. Yes, we have a war here or there, but everything is on track. We have more children in school than ever before. We have more children vaccinated than ever before. And during the pandemic, with the school closures and some of the health centers closed around the world, immunization rates were falling backwards. We now have millions of children that haven't received a single dose of vaccines. So many children out of school. And many who are out of school, they don't have the means to be online, to follow digital or online education. So there is a lot of catch-up to do. So for us at UNICEF, it means wherever we can to bring solar power, wherever we can, we look for every child, bring that child back to school, and make sure the child stays at school. Also, we are doing what we can to bridge that the number of children who are without vaccines, to have them fully immunized again. And we need the support of everyone. It's not only UNICEF or one government, all the governments around the world, but also we need private sector, we need the multilateral development banks, we need everyone to step up.
The children today are also facing a different picture that just compared to 20 years ago. We are having multiple layers of crisis. What does that mean to your cause once again to help the children?
Yeah, I think the biggest crisis of all actually may be the climate crisis. So for children, it is important that they also have a future to look forward to. It starts with education. In fact, early education. As soon as children get 2 or 3 years old, that they play with other children, that they are confident, that they learn social skills, that they learn to express themselves, and then they are ready for school. Once in school, I think, yes, we can do online learning, but it needs to be also in classroom. It needs to be a one-on-one. The way we are talking would not be possible if it would be with only a screen or a device. So we need that personal and that human contact, at least until 10, 12 years old. And once we are there, then we should provide children, first, of course, the foundational skills, numeracy, literacy, digital skills, know how to manage your devices, but also know how to search for information. But also, I would say, life skills or transferable skills that make children really confident. So if you can express yourself, if you are a good negotiator, a communicator, that will make you ready for lifelong learning. And last but not least, I think vocational training, whether it's technical or for expertise or vocational, is also important. So that trajectory, if we invest in that right now, and we do that in a way that is climate smart, then we are really making it much more easier for the generation that is very young now, or those that still will be born.
China has managed to eliminate extreme poverty over the past years after decades of hard work. But now China is also very cautious to prevent some of those populations that have been away from extreme poverty to fall back again. Now, at this critical juncture, what do you make of the practices being used? And also, how do you see the future of developing countries trying to eliminate extreme poverty?
Yeah, so it's so sorry, but during the pandemic, really hundreds of millions of people slided back into poverty and some in extreme poverty. So for us at UNICEF, it's very important that there are sometimes cash programs for the families that are most deprived. We work very well with the World Bank, for example, in Yemen or Afghanistan, to give stipends to those families that have children in school age or babies, and they need additional financial support. So we provide that kind of subsistence, including for teachers and health workers in those countries that need it most. But we can't do that, of course, everywhere. So for governments, it's important to have social safety nets and also to look beyond income poverty. We also need to look that children can access, and their caregivers and parents, of course, too, to good health systems, education, so that it doesn't become a vicious cycle. In China, it's a very good example. The government lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, extreme poverty, in quite a short period of time, if you look at history. And that is a great example. And I think once lifted out of poverty and provided the access to quality education, good health systems, that's really a turning point for any generation to give more and to do better in life.
How do you see what is the best way for China as one of the biggest developing countries to work, to share the practices, but also with the knowledge that everybody is different, so everybody can have their own solutions?
Yeah, so I think for China, on the one hand, the government have had also quite a few meetings with the government of China during these days here in Boao, all very constructive and positive. So on the one hand, there is clearly an ask for UNICEF to still continue with programs in China. Yet also China has developed so much. The lessons learned from lifting people out of poverty in quite a speedy time. Also that gigantic knowledge that you have on online learning. There are so many platforms where really good content for learning is available. That is something that China could help make available to others as well.
You know, you talk about learning, that's really a great way of looking at how we human beings live and how we together can function in the future. I wonder whether we are together all very young in a way. We are in the process of learning, isn't it?
Yes, I think the biggest challenge is to accept that every day we can learn something. And then technologies can complement it. If we push everything away, then we always will do everything the same way. There is no development, no innovation. So I find it very important, including at UNICEF, that we always look how can we do things better, faster, maybe cheaper, how can we add value. And if we do that consistently, we get better end products, and therefore we can serve children better.
Also about learning, that is about mutual learning and mutually inspirational, but it takes minds which are open to do that. Many suggest that our world is so complicated these days. Nothing has an ultimate solution, and yet if we think hard and connect the dots, there might be solutions just right in front of us.
At the opening of the Boao conference, the forum, we heard almost everyone, all the fantastic speakers talk about open mind, openness, willingness to learn.
Peace, development, open to learn.
Yes, so I think that combination is a beautiful recipe if we work together in the theme of solidarity and cooperation, we can really change the world. I am convinced of that.
I'm so glad. The partnership between China and UNICEF for decades.
Yes.
And I saw that partnership has been extremely strong during the rainy days, during the sunny days. How do you see the future of partnership between UNICEF and China?
Yeah, as you say, Wei, it is 40 plus years that we partner with the government of China. So from a big supply operation in the beginning, iodizing salt and penicillin and I don't know what, it's now a much more relationship that we talk about policies, we do research together, we publish data together. So the evolution is there, yet we also at the same time we talk about, okay, poverty, maybe economic poverty is much less, but we also need to make sure that everyone is included. Children with special needs, disabled children, children living in very remote areas. So the government likes us to stay, and they look long-term for our program and partnerships. And we at UNICEF, we believe that the time is also there that we take a fresh look at how we work together. So we hope that we can work alongside the government of China, also for South-South cooperation, maybe for people-to-people collaboration, people from China with other countries in the neighborhood, so that we also look beyond the borders of China while we continue working in China. And I think my meetings with the government have been very positive and constructive. So I'm quite confident that over time we find a way how to do that.
Congratulations on behalf of the children.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karin, for being with us.
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you so much.